The Lakers are now winners of the 2025 free agency. They just signed DeAndre Ayton on an
I
incredible
wanted him
deal. 2
in
years, only
Orlando, bro.
$16 million with a player option. What a steal for LA. DeAndre Ayton was that missing piece to truly be competitive, and now the Lakers have him. Originally, the Lakers were losers because they let Dorian Finney-Smith walk and join the Rockets, and also LeBron opting into his huge contract as well. But now with DeAndre Ayton, the Lakers are a legit contender. Speaking about the Houston Rockets, they're one of the best winners this offseason. We all know they brought in Kevin Durant. That was a huge move, but it's the other small moves that they've done that really stands them out. This is everything the Houston Rockets done in a nutshell. They brought back Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith Jr. They also signed and brought back Steven Adams, even brought in Clint Capella. I mentioned Dorian Finney-Smith too. The Rockets' depth is insane, and they basically only lost Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green. Expect the Rockets to be a threat in the West. The Atlanta Hawks are also winners as well. Trey is happy because Trae Young is no longer in trade talks because Atlanta has made it clear they want to build around Trae. They brought in Kristaps Porzingis from the Boston Celtics. This was a huge move for Atlanta. Even signing Luke Kennard on a one-year deal was a win. And don't forget stealing Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Timberwolves on a multi-year deal. Nickeil fits the roster perfectly. These moves definitely moved the Hawks up in the Eastern Conference standings. The Nuggets are also huge winners of this offseason as well because they really built a great shooting team around Nikola Jokic. They got rid of Michael Porter Jr., which of course was a sad move, but the right thing to do, and brought in Cameron Johnson, who basically does the same thing MPJ does, but he's also more affordable. They also signed Bruce Brown, brought him back to the team.
Again.
He was a part of the team's 2023 NBA championship rotation. They also signed Tim Hardaway Jr., a sharp veteran shooter, which would be perfect off the bench.
So you didn't really lose MPJ. You just have him in like two players, with Tim Hardaway and with Cameron Johnson.
For the team to be a scoring spark plug and a locker room presence. And I also love that they traded Dario Saric away to bring in Jonas Valanciunas. What a under the radar move for the Denver Nuggets because now they have a legit big so Jokic can rest time to time. The Nuggets remain one of the best teams in the West with these moves. The Pistons are also quiet winners as well. They were able to bring back Paul Reed on a 2-year deal. They also brought in Karis LeVert on a 2-year deal. This was a move that no one really is talking about, but I believe Karis LeVert really adds an offensive punch to the team. But being able to bring in Duncan Robinson on a 3-year deal after losing Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, the Pistons remain competitive with these under-the-radar moves. Damian Lillard himself is a huge winner from this free agency because the Bucks just waived him. But what basically is going on is Damian Lillard is still going to be getting paid a lot of money from the Bucks, and he can sign with any team next summer on a minimum contract while still getting paid big bucks from the Bucks. Dame has many options to join any team he wants basically to really contend for a championship.
Wow.
But we've got a lot of losers in this free agency as well.
D-Lo is
Big shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring.
Man, get the fucking dark ass out of here, bro. Yeah, talk about my Mavs.
The Mavericks are one of the bigger losers in free agency.
How?
And it's because they signed D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell is no longer that point guard in the league anymore. And
but he's a bro, he could be a bench point guard. He's the bench point guard because Kyrie is out, so he's gonna be starting. But like he was also starting the Lakers. He was playing decent, so I'm not mad at that, bro. What, bro? He's gonna be a bench point guard, bro. He's gonna be cooking all the six men, all the PGs.
I believe the price they're paying for D'Lo is just too expensive. Yes, the Mavericks do need a guard to play until Kyrie Irving returns. I believe there were just other better free agent point guards out there.
Like who?
Than D'Angelo Russell.
Like who?
They could have went for Dennis Schroeder.
I mean Dennis Schroeder, kind of. He's a playmaker. No, I don't want this dude, Ty Jerome.
Say Ty Jerome would have been a great pick too.
Hell no, bro. I prefer D'Lo.
Nico Harrison has been very vocal that defense wins championships, and we all know D'Lo isn't that defensive guy. Another big loser is the Sacramento Kings, who have
he's not the defensive guy, bro. But with the bench, bro, you got Najee Marshall, you got PJ Washington, you got Lively or Gafford. They always switch. So bro, you're good defensively. So I don't know, bro. You need offense too.
Of course, traded away Jonas Valanciunas for Dario Saric. That trade alone was a big L for them. But then they also just signed Dennis Schroeder
Damn,
on a
those teeth.
3-year, $40 million plus deal. I believe this is way too expensive for Dennis Schroeder, and he was a huge winner, but the Sacramento Kings wasted too much money on him. Malik Beasley from the Pistons alone, he himself is a big loser because
Gamble.
now he's caught up in betting problems again.
Oh, yeah,
And with
betting,
that
same
being
shit.
said, there's no team in the NBA that's going to risk signing Malik Beasley because there's a risk of him not even playing, getting suspended, getting convicted. After an amazing season with the Pistons, helping them make the playoffs, being a huge factor off the bench, even the runner-up in the 6th Man of the Year award, Malik Beasley once again is in a situation where he has to prove himself after a season we thought he already did. The Indiana Pacers are also a big loser in this free agency because they literally just let Miles Turner walk away to join a rival team. Miles Turner is now playing with the Bucks, and the Pacers now lack front court depth. Of course, we knew they weren't going to be competitive because Tyrese Halliburton is not going to play the entire year next season, but still, a priority was bringing back Miles Turner, a heart and soul factor of the team. The Toronto Raptors are also a big loser in this free agency. The only big thing they've done was re-sign Jakob Poeltl on a 4-year deal. This is how much the Raptors extended Jakob for. This is way too much money for a big who isn't even a top 10 big in the league.
Whoa.
Even a top 10 big in the league.
No.
Way
What? Never mind, I had to sneeze.
too much money for
What,
a big who
dude?
isn't even a top 10 big in the league.
4
There
mil?
were rumors that the Raptors were going big, going after a Giannis Antetokounmpo. But besides
Antetokounmpo.
re-signing Jakob Poeltl, the only person they brought in from free agency was Sandro Mamu on a 2-year deal.
Bro.
They also
Bro. That dude is a 1-game wonder where he dropped like 40 and he went like 7 for 7 against the Knicks, I think. But that was
fired Masai Ujiri, who was of course a big part of the Raptors' success as a GM. The Raptors just failed another offseason. The Utah Jazz are also big losers this offseason as well because they didn't advance their roster. Their roster actually got worse. Jordan
Yes.
Clarkson got bought out. He's no
yeah, and Colin
longer
Sexton.
a Jazz. And then they traded away Colin Sexton for Yusuf Nurkic in return. Why would the Jazz trade away Colin Sexton, their
The
best
heart and soul of the team. You trade that, bro.
backcourt player, for another big man? They already have Walker Kessler on the squad. The
Yeah.
Jazz remain a bottom seed team in the West. But the Warriors would have to be one of the biggest losers in this entire free agency.
Kevon Looney.
Because basically,
They
they've
traded their only center.
done nothing. They let Kevon Looney walk
Bro, that teeth gap is crazy.
to join the Pelicans, and I can even argue that Kevon Looney was the Warriors' best center. And we all know the Warriors were struggling at that position anyway. And why would you let your best center walk away for basically nothing in return? The Warriors now have to scramble in free agency and sign whatever big is possible. And that's because the reason why they lost in the playoffs is because their lack of front court size. If the Warriors continue not to do anything, they're gonna waste another season having Steph, and also waste having Jimmy Butler on the squad. So who are your biggest winners in free agency, and who are your biggest losers? Let's get a chat going in the comments below. But we just made a video talking about Damian Lillard and the team that
Hey, thanks for watching, man. God bless.